Good day everyone, this is Alvin again from the Philippines and welcome to my review of Semifinal 2 of the SupraChat for Miss Supranational 2021. So just like what I said in the previous review that I did for Semifinal 1, if you haven't checked that out, so make sure to check that one. There were four ladies that competed in Semifinal 2 and one of them will automatically advance to the top 24. And what I love about this competition is that there were 4 questions, similar questions to all the ladies competing for Semifinal 1 and Semifinal 2, which is good because it would be much easier to compare who did really well. And the 4 questions were, question number 1 is the biggest lesson that they learned from other candidates in the competition. Question number 2 was, what do they want to be remembered as? And what will they do if they don't win? And number 3 is related to climate change, and in a minute, they need to convince the people listening right now that they need to start to make a change. And finally, the 4th question was, we've heard that action is more important than words, but is there a scenario where words are more important than action? Let's begin with France. Judith Brumantapua. Her first response was pure, genuine, and very sweet, and since this is more of a personal answer, I was looking for personality, and she gave that to me. Her second response made me appreciate her for doing her best to speak in for speaking the English language, and based on how I understand it, I think the main point of her response is that whether win or lose, she would still be a winner, and that is actually a great perspective and great way of looking at things. Her third response was beautiful, especially with how she highlighted that working to save our Earth is not a one man's job. It requires the cooperation of everybody, not just the majority, but everybody. The only thing that I wish she did is I wish she have given more conviction, because let's say that's how she gave her message. As a listener, I won't be convinced. And her fourth response made me appreciate how she talked about either way, action and words are kind of connected. And although I understood her follow-up responses, I just wish it was presented in a more organized way. But overall, France, I really commend her performance here. I really commend her performance here and for showing her personality. Next we have South Africa. Her first response was so smart and at the same time very sensitive to the experiences of her fellow contestants, and that is just commendable. Her second response was very apparent to her personality, and what I love about her response is at how she was able to connect it to her profession as a medical doctor, and that made her response more beautiful and personal, which is very important. Her third response was amazing. I love how she started it with a quote that she loved, which I also love. And let me just put it this way. This is a beautiful message, and I'm referring to what she said during that round. But I will be giving the same response just like the others. Since the question requires them to give a message, I wish there was more of the eye contact to the camera, since the question was, again, as what I have said, to give a message to the viewers. But nevertheless, content-wise, it was phenomenal, and her delivery was great. I just wish there was more of that eye contact. Her fourth response was so smart, and the way she explained it and gave a scenario was just pure perfection. And also, she talked about the negative comments she received during the Miss Elegance competition, and I was a bit emotional as well because there was that tone in her that made her sound emotional as well, because I feel like it was really personal for her and the comments affected her internally. I appreciate her for speaking out that message, because people, especially those people who loves to waste their time hurting and bullying people on social media, they need to hear that message a million times. Her third next we have the Philippines. Dindy Pajares. Her first response was filled with so much personality, and I think when she said that I am representing my country but you can also be my friend, because I believe that statement truly highlighted the power of sisterhood in the competition. Her second response was about her journey, where it took her third time to finally get a crown. And wow, her response is filled with so many beautiful points like learning to rest, failure is not the end of the world, although there were parts that were quite repetitive, but her reaction after she answered was hilarious, but real and very likable. In her third response, I love that she addressed her message to the people. It was just a simple response, a simple message, but I like its simplicity. Her fourth response, I am impressed by her response and I love her perspective in this response. If you are just focusing on the main thought, it was actually quite impressive. But if we focus on the delivery as well, which is as important as the content, of course there's still some polishings to be done and there's work to be done, but hopefully she could work on that. It is more on polishing and organizing the way you express your answer or your message. Let me just say that I liked Dindy before, but this was the moment. I mean, the SupraChat Semifinal 2 was the moment that made me love Dindy even more. Her answer may not be perfect and her delivery may not be the smoothest, but she was real. She was being herself, and there's nothing more beautiful than by being yourself and showing who you really are. So, kudos to her for that. And finally, we have Trinidad and Tobago. I am not sure when you noticed that before Anne asked her first question, she stared at the camera and gave us a wink. I mean, I like that. It's like she's giving us a message that, watch me how I nail these questions. Well, she did. I like how she smiled while Anne was reading the question because it gives me a vibe that she knows what she's about to say and she's prepared, and her response again is another relevant response. I love that her response focuses on real beauty, which isn't just about the face. And for the second question, I really appreciate when people like her who personalize their responses, and I am glad that she started by saying that she's already doing it, and I am just in love with how she speaks so genuine, but at the same time remaining classy, calm, and composed. Her third response was absolutely strong, and I'm glad that she started by addressing all humanity. I mean, she mentioned that this message is for all humanity. That is so good. Her first line of message was a slap of reality when she said that you can move to different countries, but at the end of the day, you are still stuck on Earth. Wow, that is so smart. Very good line. And also, I also love when she said that we don't have much time left, because that line gives her message that sense of urgency and makes the issue very important and very her So that is a powerful statement. What I love about Trinidad and Tobago is that her words are very powerful. Her messages are intellectually constructed, and most importantly, she knows how to use the right terms to make it even more powerful. So wow, that was such a beautiful response. And her fourth response, oh my gosh, I love how she centered her answer around being true to what you do, whether it is by words or by actions. And again, another extra point for her for making it personal when she said that when she tells people that they love them, she means it from the deepest part of her heart, which is very good, and connecting it to words being powerful than action. So overall, she is by far the most well-polished in terms of delivery and content of responses. Trinidad and Tobago is a woman who knows herself inside out, and that is why she was able to give her answers directly with no hesitations. And having said that, my clear winner for Semifinal 2 is Trinidad and Tobago. And I really hope she wins so that she gets a spot in the Semifinal 2. She gets a spot in the top 24 and we'll see her walk the runway. So what do you think? Do you agree with my ranking? It's not really a ranking because I only have my winner. I will not be revealing my entire ranking, just my winner, and that is Trinidad and Tobago. If you don't agree, it's okay. Vote. Because voting is 50%. You can download the Miss Supranational app, vote for your favorite, because again, it's 50% from the people, 50% by the judges' vote, and you have the power to affect the entire outcome of these semifinals. So don't forget to leave your comments below. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and share the video as well. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe because you'll be seeing more of these videos in the future. For now, thank you very much and have a wonderful day from the Philippines.